I want to thank you all for being here and welcome you on behalf of the Alvin-Manville Area Chamber of Commerce and the Pearland Chamber of Commerce. We are doing this in collaboration for these candidates, for our communities to know who will be on their ballots in the next few weeks. I'm Kerry Perrin. I'm the president and CEO of the Alvin-Manville Area Chamber of Commerce. We also have Jim Johnson, the president and CEO of the Pearland Chamber of Commerce over here as well. And we'd like to thank you for attending this evening to learn more about these candidates and what they stand for, as again, this local election will be starting in the next few weeks. I want to thank the Alvin Community College for hosting us in this wonderful, newly renovated location here. And I want to thank 1820 Coffee House for providing us part of the refreshments, and Small Cakes Bakery for providing the cookies tonight. I also want to thank our candidates for being here and taking the time and making themselves available for us to learn more about what they stand for. I also want to thank our staff for helping us put this together and getting the word out to you. And I want to thank our governmental relations committees from both Alvin, Manville, and Pearland for helping us put this all together and plan it. Before we begin, I would ask you to please turn off any noise-making device or watch that you have so that it doesn't distract us. This candidate forum is being pre-recorded for us. We will be splicing it up and putting people's names on there, and it'll be coming out soon. And as it comes out, please share it so that everybody in the community can know who is on their ballot and what they're standing for. At this time, I'm going to introduce one of ACC's regents here and one of our members of our governmental relations division. They're going to lead us in our prayer and in our pledges. Mr. Jake Starkey, if you would please come up.
Please bow your heads. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this opportunity to gather and see how we can improve our communities through whatever elected office we're seeking. Let us be a blessing. Let us always seek you first in the things that we do. Let us honor you in our actions and in our words. And again, thank you for the opportunity to be here. Thank you for the wisdom that you provide us each and every day. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Now, if you'll please stand, we'll do the pledges. We'll start here behind me, because I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That way. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank y'all. Please be seated.
Tonight's forum is going to be moderated by our past chairwoman and co-chair of our governmental relations division in our Chamber of Commerce, Ms. Ashley Quinones, who is the Director of Local and Community Relations with Memorial Hermann Health System. Please help us welcome Ashley.
Good evening, everyone. I want to extend again our gratitude for your time this evening to join us and for your interest in those that want to represent us here in our local communities. As Kerry mentioned, my name is Ashley Quinones with Memorial Hermann Health System and have the pleasure of serving as our moderator this evening. And it's always an honor to be able to participate in these types of activities. So thank you to both of the chambers for allowing me to do so. I want to begin by explaining a couple of rules going forward with our contested candidates that are here on the dais. We'll begin by allowing each of them 2 minutes to introduce themselves, and then we have a series of questions that we will run down the dais with for each candidate. And those questions were submitted by both governmental relations committees of both chambers as well as our broader chamber memberships, and we've narrowed those questions down and provided the questions to the candidates in advance so they could make sure and be prepared for this evening. Once we conclude with those questions, each candidate will have 1 minute to answer each question, and then once we conclude, we will end with closing comments from each candidate, for which they'll have 2 minutes for closing comments as well. Before we move into that, though, I want to acknowledge we have several uncontested candidates who are here with us this evening. evening. I think all of them pre-recorded introductory messages to the voters before this evening. So we'll be pushing those out to the community as well. So when I call your name, if you wouldn't mind standing, and that way we can acknowledge you. Thank you for your service and congratulate you on your election since you're uncontested. So we'll start with the City of Alvin. Councilmember Martin Vella had to leave for another county meeting, but he was here earlier. We also have City of Alvin District D Councilmember Glenn Starkey. Thank you for being here tonight, Glenn. Appreciate it. And for the City of Manville, we have our current City of Manville Councilmember at Large position, Councilmember Jerome Hudson. Thank you for being here, Mr. Hudson. We also have two of our Alvin ISD Board of Trustee candidates who are uncontested for position 4, Regan Matoyer Peterson. And then for position 5, David Selsky. Are you here, David? I didn't see him. I'm sorry? Okay, he had to leave. I'm sorry, I didn't see him. So appreciate him being here earlier. And then for Alvin Community College Board of Regents, we have position 7, Patty Hartenberger. She was not able to be here this evening, but we do have the regent that will be elected to position 8, uncontested, and that's Yvette Reyes Hall. If you don't mind standing, Yvette, very good. Thank you very much. So with that, we will now move into our contested elections, and we're going to start here on your far left here with our City of Alvin City Council candidates. We're going to give each of you 2 minutes for your opening comments, and I think the color coding of the timing's been explained, but green is obviously go, yellow is they have 30 seconds remaining, and then red is obviously your time has expired. So they see that up there, and then our timekeeper over here sees that as well. So we will get started, and we'll start with you, Mr. Stutska, with your 2-minute introductory comments.
All right. Good evening. I'm Roger Stuxa. I think there's an echo. I am running for position 2 of the City Council at large. I've been a councilman in the past for 7 years, just now completing 6 years as a Board of Regent at the college here in Alvin. I've been active in the city since about 1970. I think I've been on every board and committee that the city had to offer. I've been through 2 charter reviews for the city, and I'd like to apply the knowledge that I've learned and have experienced to the new position of being a councilman again here in Alvin. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. We'll move on to you, Mr. Castro.
So for those of y'all who know me, hi, nice to see you again. But for those of y'all who don't know me, my name is Joel Castro. I've proudly served on Alvin City Council. I've been on elected city council at the ripe age of 18, and I've been there for almost 4 years now, going on my 5th year. And it's definitely been a huge honor of mine to get to wake up every day and represent the citizens of Alvin each and every day, fighting for them in City Hall, being their voice for them in City Hall. I go out and I talk to Alvinites just as much as our other council members, and I hear from them what they want to get done and the issues that are in front of them. And they want better roads, they want better drainage, they want lower taxes, and that's exactly what we've provided them this past 5 years on City Council. It's no secret that Alvin is a lot better off now than we were 5 years ago. Alvin is on the rise. There's very promising. We have an amazing city council. We have an amazing city staff. And so I'm excited to apply the path we've laid forward into the next 3 years of my term on Alvin City Council. It's been an extreme honor of mine, and I'm so excited to be able to serve y'all once again. So thank y'all.
Very good. We'll now move to the City of Manville with our 2 City of Manville Council candidates, and we'll start with you, Mr. Oplager. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Harry Oplager, and I am running for City Council position 4. I've lived in Manville for 23 years and have previously served on council in 2000, along with other committees over the years. I served in the United States Army as a military policeman at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and followed by a 35-year career with Chevron as a security advisor. Manville is our home, and I believe we are at a critical state in our city. The rapid development and growth our community is currently experiencing requires improvements with roads, drainage, and parks, to name a few. My goals as your representative will be to measure the effectiveness of city services, identify the needs of our city or our community, and fiscal responsibility. We need leaders to make a decision to support and exceed the expectations for the goals and vision of Manville. Growth must be managed appropriately, current assets utilized to their fullest potential, and keep the community members informed. If elected, my pledge to the community is to work, utilizing my experience as a long-term resident of Manville. I understand the issues of the old neighborhoods we face with drainage and roads, or to hear that your road is next on the list, only to hear there is no list. Geez. I will work with my experience from Chevron, where capital stewardship and safety are priorities, where measuring performance is a tool used to validate the processes and budgeting purposes. This is one of the reasons I entered the election, because from what I have seen or not seen, the goals and measurement of the services are not very clear. In closing, I would like to say I'm passionate about our community. The fruits of the labor of so many people before us are coming to a reality soon. The job is not finished, and for the job of a council member is far beyond 2 meetings a month. Your vote for me will allow me to bring that passion to the table and help Manville grow while maintaining that atmosphere we desire. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Now we'll move to you, Mr. Edward Perry.
Good evening, thank you. My name is Ed Perry. I am also running for Manville City Council, place number 4. I've been a resident of the city of Manville for almost 7 years now. I love the area that we live in. I love our community. And I bring to the table the ability to utilize critical thinking, to assess a situation, analyze it, and come to a conclusion that is going to be the best outcomes for those that are impacted or infected, or affected, not infected, excuse me. Too much pandemic. Affected. And so we've seen great growth over the past few years. We've seen great development. And I want to join a team that is going to continue in that vein to make sure that the needs that are being met do not impact us negatively. So drainage is a concern within our community. We need to make sure that the roads and the thoroughfares are established in a manner that is not going to create backlogs of traffic. I'm a commuter. I commute from the city of Houston home back and forth. So I want to be able to come back to my abode that I love so much and get there without excess traffic hampering me and impeding my return. So I would like to bring the skill set that I have with 20 years of military service in military resource management and finance. I'd like to bring more than 10 years of adjudication services with the federal government to the table so that I'm able to look at ordinances that we have in place and determine if there's a request for an ordinance to be amended, does it make sense? Is it going to be beneficial to the city? Making sure that the finances and resources that we have are utilized to their fullest effect, and to make sure that every citizen is represented and served well in our community. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Now we'll move to our 2 candidates for the Alvin Community College Board of Regents, position 9, and we'll begin with you, Mr. Michael Hoover, for your intro.
Thank you. All right. Everybody's already said good evening. We all know that. So let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I've been here in Alvin for 44 years. I've been out at Chocolate Bio for 23 years and 22 years out at Shell Deer Park. I'm a recently retired professional engineer. Why am I really standing up here and saying to do this? Well, it's because of this. I believe that ACC is the crown jewel of all Alvin Manville. It's the best thing we've got going for you, for this whole town. And because of that, I want it to do better than it is right now. I'm not saying that it's doing bad. I just wanted it to do a lot better than we're doing right now. So it's really the one thing you can do. You can support this college. I made a pledge that you won't see campaign signs or very many campaign signs. Mr. Pickering is recycling his for me, because my money is going to go back to the college to help some student out here that's in need. And that's where I really think we really need to be. I've served time, if you want to call it that, on community boards, both city, Alvin ISD, the Education Foundation, at the college out here. I really believe that ACC is the place that this needs to be, right here. It's a good way to get a lot of bang for your buck quickly and get your kids out into school. So, thank you.
Very good, thank you. And last but not least, we have Mr. David Pickren, also ACC Board of Regent, position 9.
Hello, everybody. My name is David Pickren. I'm running for state board. I'm thinking about that.
You are?
Yeah, I am. I'm running for Alvin Community College Board of Regents, position 9, against Mike here. I am a lifelong resident of the south part of Houston. I grew up in the Sagemont area. My family moved here in 1965 for my dad to go work at NASA. Graduated in school over there. When I went off to college, graduated from Dallas Baptist University with magna cum laude as a bachelor in mathematics. Yes, I am a math nerd. Along the way, though, to help me get through school in a timely fashion, I did attend community college to give me some additional hours. I know how important that was. And then even after I got my job at NASA, I continued my education at U of H Clear Lake to take additional hours to help me with my career. I'm a strong believer in education. And much like Mike over here, Alvin Community College is doing great. But my job has always been at NASA and over the years is a quality engineer. And as a quality engineer, you always try to improve things, make things better. And one of the number one things you want to do is make sure things that are profitable and stable. And so I excel at making things that are good better. And that's what I believe for Alvin Community College. Alvin Community College is, again, I think it's a jewel in the rough out here, because it's got a great future in front of it. This area is exploding, as the Manville have pointed out, and Alvin, you know that there are thousands of new houses being built around here right now. And those houses are going to bring businesses, and those businesses are going to need educated, trained people to run them. And I think it's very important, as for the Chamber of Commerce out here, that Alvin Community College not only do a good job, but do an excellent job. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you all for that. We'll move into our question time period now. And it's just as a reminder, you each have 1 minute to answer the question that's posed. And for this first round of questions, it's going to be the same question for every candidate, because I think it applies obviously to all of you. And David, we'll start with you down on the end down there. What prior experiences or previous successes uniquely position you to be the best candidate to serve as a regent for ACC?
When I went off to school, I was served as student body president at my school for 2 years. And as such, I had to work directly with the president of the school. I had to sit here and bring the needs of the students to the school. I had to guide the school in certain things, point out any issues. And then also, as working with the president, I spent a lot of time with donors and businesses trying to help them get more involved in our school and bring things to our school. I think those same things are right here at Alvin Community College. I'm a really true believer in internships, for the students. getting more people to donate to the school. And I know the the Community College Foundation does a great job of doing a lot of that work, and I would like to see that work continue so that we can support more and more schools, more and more students to come to this school.
Thank you. Michael, same question for you.
Well, I've done a lot of volunteerism work within the city, within Alvin ISD, within the Alvin ISD Education Foundation, and also ACC. I've served on bond committees. I know everybody hates that word, but I've served on them. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. But, you know, I had 3 kids. They went to this school. I know what in the world it's like to do there. So I really just want to say, this is really what in the world I want to do. I feel that I have to do something to give back to the community, and this is the way I wish to do it.
Very good. We'll move to you, Ed.
Thank you very much. First off, the nature of my education, I have a Bachelor's of Science degree in management, focusing on organizational culture. And within that discipline, we focus on helping organizations attain their goals, whatever those end goals are. So I have the ability to look at the larger picture, whatever the overarching goals are, and then use analysis to get us to those individual goals that will help us accomplish whatever the end goal may be for that organization. I've worked in the nonprofit sector, I've worked in the faith-based sector, I've worked in the government sector and in the corporate sector, where I've had to manage budgets of multi-million-dollar budgets and successfully achieve the goals, sometimes with money left over, or at least reaching the goal with the funds and the resources that were provided. So with the city of Manville, I know that I can join the team that is in place and be another set of eyes, another asset to help us continue to reach the goals that we're striving for now, to continue to make Manville the city that it is on the rise.
Thank you. Harry?
Thank you. As I said, I retired from Chevron. With a little story in that, I was promoted to a job, a regional coordinator, and I was struggling with the position. And one of the managers, we were sitting there talking, he said, "Harry, you're here for the big picture." I said, "Well, Robert, somebody needs to paint it for me because I can't see it." And then we talked through the role of the bigger picture. I began to see, start thinking and looking at things a little bit differently. And in that, I've carried that mantra with me, and I walk around and I see things. I say, what can the city do better? What can we do better for the community or the citizens, right? That's because at the end of the day, that's what we're talking about is making the city better for everybody that lives there, right? And so one of the things I worked on previously, right, is the old library. I don't know how many of you remember when the old library was in the old school building and the owl was flying through the building, but I helped relocate the building and the owl.
Very good. Thank you. Joelle?
Yeah, so serving these past few years on the council has been amazing. Getting reelected by y'all has been amazing. And we've been able to do amazing work. We have a really good council, and so we've been able to basically empower an economic climate that's been able to generate almost $10 million in sales tax revenue, which is significantly higher than it's ever been, despite the government shutdowns with businesses. We've been able to significantly lower the tax rate. We've been able to give senior citizens a discount on utilities, 20 or 30% discount. And more importantly, we've implemented an Alvin strategic plan because we do have term limits and we won't be there forever. And so the council before us or after us will have something to look forward to and to the plan that we have now. And so all those things we've been able to get done in just those amount of times, and there's so much more needs to be done in Alvin, and that's why I'm running for re-election.
Very good. Thank you. And Roger, we'll conclude that round of question with you.
I've been dedicated to helping support our city and college for 13 years. I feel that the experience that I've gained in working as a councilman and a regent and knowing how to talk and work with your fellow councilmen to achieve the best effects for the city. Yes, the city has done a lot. The city is a good place to live, and I'm proud to be here. And all I want to do is be a part of making it better.
Very good, thank you. This next question will be the same for all of you again, and then we'll get into some more specific questions per your office. But the next question that was submitted is, what do you find as the greatest strength and also the greatest future need for the respective city or for ACC for the role that you're seeking? So Roger, we'll begin with you on that one.
Well, just as I said, my greatest strength is my past experience. I've been supported in the city as a candidate for many years, and I feel that I have the background and the knowledge that a young person can't, under any way, have from the experience that I've gained over all these years to do a good job for the city of Alvin.
Thank you. Same question, Joelle?
Yeah. So to clarify, it's greater strength about the city?
The city, yes, sir.
Okay. So I think it's a pretty clear fact that the greatest strength of Alvin is Alvinites. No matter what trials or tribulations their city's gone through, Alvinites has always picked up the pace and come together, whether it's been through Harvey, whether it was the freeze. We've seen so many churches and organizations come together to help people out. We've seen it last weekend at the Alvin Sunrise Rotary's Music Fest, where a group of 30 Rotarians here in Alvin put on a fest that all that money goes directly back to the community, goes directly back into sponsoring scholarships for kids. And so our greatest strength is our citizens. Our biggest, our greatest need in the future is growth. We're growing. There's no doubt about it. We need to be able to manage that growth, be able to maintain that growth, and make sure that we're going to the Alvin that we want it to be. So, thank y'all.
Very good, thank you. Harry, we'll move to you for the city of Manville.
So the greatest strength of Manville is the people that have put in the time and effort to make our ordinances what they are, right? So for 20 years or so, we've wanted the bigger lots, right? We maintain that country look and feel while there's managed growth coming along. So I think that's the biggest strength that we have, is the time and investment people put in it to have this look and feel that we're going to maintain of the country atmosphere while the urban builds all around us. Right?
Very good. We'll move to you, Ed.
For me, Manville's greatest strength is its immense potential. Potential as it relates not just to the people, but to its strategic location in the 288 corridor, the land mass, the area that's available to be developed, and the excitement for the growth. Manville has enough area and land mass and space and potential that it can continue to maintain that semi-rural feel that everyone loves, while at the same time developing that suburban aspect of it and the various amenities that individuals that are moving to the area would like to see. So we have the space to have it all. And the greatest need that I would see for me is to continue in the completion of the infrastructure development, so that when those opportunities come along, the infrastructure is in place so that we can act upon it.
Very good. We'll move to you, Michael, with regards to Alvin Community College.
Sure. The greatest strength of ACC is its faculty and its students right now that are here, and then the administration that we have currently. So what I see that really needs to happen is somehow we need to gather together and get our growth with the cities, because this whole area is only going to grow, and we need to work out our finances very efficiently, because we need to spend our money correctly, because a lot of people don't realize this is the second lowest rated and cost-wise of any community college. So let's shoot for number one. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. David?
Yes. Greatest current strength is I had to this week look up Alvin Community College on the internet. I Googled it. And I found all these reviews, your Yelp reviews, and I think there's one called Nerve or something like that. People love this college. They love the teachers. The students like being here. They love the student ratio. They love the prices for it. I mean, it's just a well-loved school. And the amount of awards that we have, on a list on like best schools, I mean, Alvin is there. As far as needs, we do know there's a lot of growth coming this way. This school has to move with it. We can't get caught behind in it. Along with that is the school right now, I believe, is not servicing all of its key areas to match the growth. We've put up, I don't know how many thousands of houses in the last couple of years in the area. And if you go talk to those people and say, hey, what's your community college? I get a lot of people don't even know that this community college even exists. So I would like to see more marketing of the school to the people that are new to this county.
Very good. And the next question that was submitted dovetails perfectly into your comments. So we'll stick with you two with Alvin Community College. And the question that was submitted deals specifically with expanding ACC's presence on the west side of the taxing district. And if you could speak to your vision, if you will, for expansion of services to serve more of the west side of the ACC district.
Okay. For me, I am the only person who's representing the west side. If I were on the council today or on the group, the thing about the west side is its distance. And a lot of people sit here and it's not too far away. It's just down Highway 6. But I think the distance is something that stops a lot of people in the community college world. What I would like to see is more satellite campuses. I want to take the school as a community school. I want to take it into the community instead of the community coming to the school. I would like to see us handle more classes to these groups of different races and different backgrounds and stuff by taking the school to them. One other thing I will say is that, in these days, our elementary schools have a lot of technology in them. And the high schools around here are incredible, and all 4 ISDs done. People used to come to a school because it had a lot of specific things to help that school out. All those needs are currently in our high schools, and it would be a lot nicer for Alvin Community College to use other facilities at other schools instead of locking ourselves into another bond debt building facilities that already exist. Thank you.
Very good. Michael?
Well, first, I think we ought to go back and we really ought to talk to all our residents and say, what do we need to do? And we need to improve the awareness of what in the world ACC has. Because a lot of people don't realize that, we take care of Pearland, we take care of Danbury, we've got Alvin in here, so we've got a lot of programs. They just don't know about the programs. And we need to push those programs harder out into the whole district, especially the west side, and say, this is what we got. Why don't you join us? One of the things that we've got an issue with is we have HCC on the other side of the county line with a brand new community college up there. And it's not that far for just to drive up 288 and go there. So there's a lot of places that we can send our people to and get them to join ACC.
Very good. We will stick with you, Michael and David, for this next question as well. And the next question that was submitted is, what do you feel are a couple of top issues facing the cities within the ACC service district that impact the future of ACC and its planning for the future? And we'll begin with you, Michael, on that one.
All right. My 2 points are growth and finance. That's going to make or break a city. And this college is going to serve the citizens of the area, and growth is going to be probably the number one issue, and number two is going to be, how do you pay for it?
Very good. David?
Because of all the growth that's going to happen here, we're going to have a lot more people coming in and hopefully paying in more tuition and state appropriations to cover some of this. The thing is that as we get growth, we have lots of houses coming in, right? These houses are bringing people. These people need restaurants. They need florists. They need churches. They need schools. They need auto repair. They need all of these things. And for these areas to continue to grow, they need trained, educated people to work those businesses. Those businesses are very important, not only to provide a living for the people that's in those areas, but also to service their needs and stuff and make the communities friendly to be in. So Alvin Community College sets itself at a unique spot that it is like, it can fulfill that duty. It can fulfill helping all the incorporated areas and the unincorporated areas in this district to continue to grow at a good place and provide the necessary manpower to work these businesses.
Very good. Thank you. We'll now move to Harry and Ed with the City of Manville. And the question that was submitted is, how do you feel about the recent growth in Manville and the management of that growth? Would you offer anything different or change its direction? If so, how? And Ed, we will start with you.
Okay. I guess as I stated earlier, I'm very excited about the growth that is taking place in Manville. We have to face the fact that growth is inevitable, and it's important that we manage it so that it doesn't manage us. These past few years, we've seen some very exciting things take place as far as development is going to meet the needs of that growth. If anything, I would hope that once I have a better feel as being on the team for, there's a comprehensive plan that's already in place. There's a number of master plans in place. Find a way to better fine tune some of those specific areas, whether it be the master thoroughfare plan. It's, the growth is fluid. Certain areas are not going to be static. So what we planned 3-5 years ago may not be the most effective plan for now. So I'd like to be able to go in and review those things, analyze them, and fine tune them so that they fit the current market, the current climate, current environment.
Very good. Thank you. Harry?
All right, so the growth is the growth. It's here, right? They've talked about it for 20 years that I know of. Well, it's here. There's no preventing it. The process procedures are in place. They're solid. I think the big thing that we should look at is appropriate staffing for the city. Hit the right people doing the right job, right? That's going to help the process a lot better. And the biggest concern I have, if you drive down Highway 6 and look at some of the new businesses, the elevation is going to change. There's no doubt about it. You can look at the Starbucks. You can look at the Dollar Generals. The elevation is higher. That's going to change the way, if we have another big storm, the way water runs off. And that is a huge concern because Highway 6, folks, is an evacuation route from Galveston out. So we've got to do something with it. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. And now we'll move to Joelle and Roger with the City of Alvin. And the question is, what do you feel are the top 3 issues facing the City of Alvin today? And Joelle, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so no doubt about it, the biggest issue is growth, but sub of that is how do we manage that? And so one is prioritizing public safety. That's imperative. We need to keep our citizens safe as much as possible. So we need to be able to support our police officers, support our firefighters, and support our EMS as much as we can to ensure safety for our citizens. Secondly, we need better roads and better drainage. If you're not driving in a pothole in Alvin, depending on the time you're driving in Alvin, it seems like we're in Houston traffic. in Little Alvin, Texas. That's something that we need to fix. It's something we could do by providing better mobility, by paving new roads, what we've already done and we're continuing to do. And thirdly is encouraging a diverse and a robust economic climate. A economic climate that includes a large or small businesses, but also with a little bit of large corporations to help ease the burden on our taxpayers. So they don't have to pay so much in property taxes. So we have a healthy sales tax revenue generating and to relieve the taxpayers of the burden that's already there. We have to make Alvin a better place for families to live, work, and worship, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
Very good. Thank you. Roger.
The needs for Alvin is basically easy to see. The infrastructure and the growth is really happening at a tremendous rate. To do that, we have to deal with TxDOT on transportation. Hopefully someday we'll see that Grand Parkway go down bypass and ease up some of the traffic. New businesses are coming in. We have a economic person that his job is to attract new business to Alvin, and he's doing a good job at that. Drainage, I was surprised. I'm not even a councilman, and I got a call about drainage the other day. So it is a subject that needs to be addressed. I think, the city is attempting to do everything they can. They put in several retention ponds. But I think there's other things we need to look at to address for the people that have concerns. It's not a good idea to have your house flooded every time it rains. So thank you.
Thank you, Roger. And we'll stick with you on this next question, and if you want to expand on that response, because the next question deals specifically with local mobility as well as drainage and what your ideas are to improve infrastructure in both of those areas and plan for the future and obviously the future growth that you both have mentioned. So we'll begin with you, Roger, if you want to expand.
Well, let's talk about drainage a little bit. There's not a councilman that's an expert on drainage. We contact engineers and people that are knowledgeable in that area and give us the recommendations that the city needs to progress with solving the problem. Transportation is a very difficult thing in Alvin because a lot of the roads are controlled, the main roads are by TxDOT. There are things we were able to do. For example, when I was a councilman, there was a lot of accidents in front of Kroger's. I was able to get Kroger's to move their dry entrance in line with Pearson Road and put up a light, which I think has been very successful. And it was something that I was able to accomplish, and it had no really cost to the city other than communication between TxDOT and the city. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you for that. And Joel?
Yeah, so one thing that's really cool about Alvin, and it's actually quite unique, is that we have a half-cent sales tax that goes directly into roads and drainage. So half a cent of what you pay every time you go out in Alvin, you buy something, half a cent of that goes directly into funding road and drainage here in Alvin. And we've been able to apply that money into paving miles of roads, to filling thousands of potholes, to replacing our drainage and adding drainage infrastructure and replacing water lines. So we have a method there. The method's in place and we're fixing it. Yeah.
Very good. Harry and Ed, with the city of Manville, you both mentioned the growth and mobility as well. So we'll stick with this question with you all, and I'll repeat it. But regarding transportation, local mobility, as well as drainage, what are your ideas to address adequate roadways and mobility as well as drainage projects, particularly as the city continues to grow at such a rapid rate? So we'll start with you, Harry.
Wow, the roads, I don't know how many of you drive up and down Highway 6, but clearly the traffic is getting heavier. It's oftentimes a race down the road for people. So there's not enough, in my mind, traffic control, streetlights to slow the traffic down. And again, the biggest problem that I see in Manville is going to be Highway 6. I don't think any, we had the Harvey, the big flood in Harvey where it flooded Chocolate Bio and Highway 6. We had the great big meeting, lots of pats on the back. I'm not sure what was the follow-up. So we're waiting for the big flood again to where nobody can get out. So I think that's the biggest thing. We have to address the flooding issues on Highway 6 or mitigate it in some way, right? Because that's the expectation is people can get out in a flood or a hurricane down Highway 6.
Thank you. Ed?
Yes. So as far as mobility and the drainage, I think it's important that as a council, we remain attentive and we remain vigilant in the sense that there are professionals, as we know, engineers, there are impact studies that can be done. And so this needs to be something that we're enacting on a consistent basis so that as more residents come into the community, as more businesses are developed, we know that that's going to be more traffic, that's going to be more people. So the points of egress, we have to do studies that let us know the best places for points of egress so that with that added traffic, there's a way for that traffic to be dispersed. With the drainage, water is going, I always say water is going to take the least path of resistance. So we have to make sure that that path is not our homes or our properties where we live. So again, that's where engineers are going to be important to look at the whole picture, all of Manville, the new development, and I think we're doing better there because of the developers' requirements. But some of the older areas and find ways that we can, whether it's through drainage ditches, dredging canals, whatever's necessary to allow that water to flow, the deluge to flow south into the Gulf and away from our properties. It's going to require those types of consultants and professionals that can guide us to do so.
Very good. Thank you. Michael and David, we'll move to you for your last question. And David, we'll begin with you. The question that was submitted is, you will be part of a team on the Board of Regents for ACC. How will you work with other college leaders, staff, other elected officials in our community, as well as other entities, but keep your unique individuality as a Board of Regent?
Well, in all my years that I've been in business and stuff, I've always been a part of a team. At NASA, I was a team. Computers, a team. Traveling all over the world as part of my job, a team. Teams are very important, and teams working together are definitely a force to deal with. I realized when I took many years ago, I took a class in group dynamics, and you learn that in a group, for a group to be effective, you've got to have lots of different personalities. You need different skills, you need different experiences, you need different knowledge, and all of it together makes the organism move forward. The Bible used to always talk about that, and talk about the church. The church has all these different gifts, and some of them, you might not like, but we all work together. And so I think working in a team is very good. Working as an individual, I have no problem just maintaining who I am because the team needs me as I am. And so working with the teachers and stuff, knowledge is power in this. You need to talk to everyone that your decisions are impacting. And you shouldn't just assume that someone likes something or whatever. I think it's very, very important to collect information and data for every single decision that you make.
Very good. Thank you. Michael?
Well, in my 45 years as a professional engineer out at Chocolate and also Deer Park, we've been in a team situation. That's the only thing we know. So I would say I will be a team member. But like David said, you also have to be an individual and put what your ideas are forward to the rest of the team and act together. Because remember, we're in this together. We want the best we can have for ACC because it is the crown jewel of both Alvin and Manville. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. And the last question for our candidates for both the city of Manville and the city of Alvin is, of course, going to be business focused. And the question is, the chamber is focused on supporting our member businesses, many of which are small businesses. How do you see the city of Manville or the city of Alvin supporting and encouraging small business development in the next few years? And Ed, we'll start with you.
Well, it's a known fact, or studies have shown that small business are basically the lifeblood of our nation as far as providing jobs, services, et cetera. So I think it's important that as a city, in trying to promote that growth, that we provide the resources. Most businesses fail due to things like undercapitalization. We need to provide information, training, education, resources, or at least direct those potential businesses to the resources that will help them get the proper capital funding, that will help them develop their business plans. So, you know, you can have a great idea, but if there's not a plan in place to promote and to support that idea, it could result in failure. So resources and information training is very important. I actually serve on the MEDC, so hopefully even in that capacity with economic development, we can be a conduit for the various resources that are available in the area at places like Brazosport College and Alvin Community College, the small business development centers, the programs that will assist small businesses not only to be established, but to maintain, sustain, and be successful.
Very good, thank you. Harry, we'll move to you.
Well, okay. So I think government, the city, should provide the infrastructure that allows the community to grow, where a business has the support of the city services, right, to where they can build their business and grow. You got to have people coming in the door. The city's job is to help build the amenities, make sure that businesses want to move to your city, right? Not make it too difficult for them to do business, but follow the rules. So it's more of they're in the background, right? They're providing the water, the sewer, all the neat things, the roads, to make sure it's a quality, people feel comfortable, safety, security. It's all those things that go along with the community that make people want to come into a business. If they don't feel comfortable, they're not going to stop.
Very good, thank you. Same question for our candidates with the city of Alvin, and Joelle, we'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, so with small businesses, we have to be proactive. We have to build those relationships with those people who, small businesses are the engine of our economy. They drive us forward. And so we have to be able to build rapport, ask them what's doing good, and also ask them where are we lacking? How can we improve? But more importantly, we need to let business owners run their own business, not let the government intrude on all these regulations. If there's a permit process that's hurting business owners, we need to be able to be there for them and listen to them. And if it's not working, if it's something that's just a huge burden on them, then we need to be able to fix it. We have to keep our ears to the ground. We have to be able to talk to our business owners and see what's needed.
Very good, thank you. Roger?
Well, there's no doubt that small businesses are the lifeblood of a city. We can't have people moving in. They're not going to come here if they don't have a place to get a haircut, place to go to the store, and have a little entertainment. So it's very important that the city, and they have done a pretty good job of promoting business for the city of Alvin. And I hope that they will continue to do that. Alvin is the only way we're going to grow is to have a good working relationship with businesses that want to come here and provide services for the residents.
Very good, thank you. That concludes our questions for this evening, and so we will move into closing statements. And we started at this end of the dais for introduction, so we'll start at the opposite end, David, and allow you to be the first one to give your closing statement, and you have 2 minutes for that.
Okay. So I'm going to start off did everyone know that April is National Community College Month? And as such, the Department of Education posted this just yesterday. They said community colleges are diverse, affordable, and accessible, giving hundreds of thousands, including nearly half of all undergraduates, an opportunity for educational growth and career advancement right in their community. And so if I ask the question, how many people here went to a community college?
Benza?
All right, yes, a lot of people. You know how important this institution is. And if you didn't go to a community college, and let's just say you're a taxpayer. Now, I have a son who's in dual credit right now, so he's going to the school district. So I was looking at it. Your community college here brings $100 million per year into this area. $100 million per year. That's what it does by giving you educated and trained people. It makes the cities of Manville, the cities of Alvin, the cities of Pearland are all better places to live because of Alvin Community College. Now, as that being it, I think our school needs to continue to grow. And like I said, I think we need to do more satellite locations. We need to go, as a community college, we need to go into the community. We need to do partnerships with businesses, with plants and factories and churches and schools, and take this education to the people. And I think with that, I think we can continue to grow our school, because what I would like to see is I would like to see the school grow in numbers, not necessarily in facilities. Facilities cost money. As a quality engineer, one of the things is every single decision I ever make is I look at the total cost of ownership. It's not just about building, it's about running it. And everything takes a lot of money over time. I propose that we sit here and look at other options and move into multiple satellites to increase the size of the student body. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Michael?
Well, I'm going to agree with some of what David has to say there, which sounds unusual. But I also think we need to push the awareness, because people just don't know what is available. A lot of things that David said is available right now. You know, Danbury and Pearland and the schools out on the west side, they all can be in the dual enrollment section. There's a lot of kids that are there, that are in that. They're benefiting. The parents are benefiting because, like I said, this is number 2 in cost. And that saves parents money on there. So what I really want to do is continue where in the world we are now, but push that awareness out. Hey, we've got these programs. Do you know that we have these programs? Maybe we're failing to inform them and let them know what is available to it on there. So, you know, I just want to push Alvin Community College as hard as I can, because not everybody's going to go off and become a college graduate. Maybe we need our trade. We do need our trades. You know, electrician, a welder. You know, we've got plants out at Chocolate. You got Texas City not far. You got the Ship Channel. You got NASA over there. Not everybody at NASA is an engineer. So we need the technical people. This school provides areas that we need to push further. And one area I didn't talk about was the nursing program here. How many people here know that this is probably the best kept secret at ACC? 11 years that all their students pass the state board's test. We need to do that more often on other programs. That is a shining star. So with that, I say thank you very much, Michael Hoover.
Thank you. Ed, we'll move to you for your closing statement.
Thank you very much. Serving others and practicing servant leadership has been one of the watchwords of my life. And I'm very excited and passionate about serving the city of Manville. And in serving the city of Manville, I mean all citizens of the city of Manville, whether you're in a planned development area, whether you're in a semi-rural landed area, my goal is to come together and use the skills that I've been blessed with for building coalitions, for collaborating, for partnering with others, for listening, observing, studying, researching, and comprehending to find out what the needs are and what will best serve our community as a whole. And so if elected into that position, I will bring all of those skills to the table, all of my passion, all of my energy, and make sure that Manville continues to grow as the great city that it already is and into the greater city that it has the potential to become. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you. Harry?
You know, I really didn't think much about the closing statement. You turn on the microphone. Didn't think much about a closing statement. I was so worried about the opening statement. But I think, you know, one of the biggest parts that we have still, and I'll touch on it again, roads, drainage, parks, to name a few, a library. Pearland just opened, I think, an $18 million library on the West End. That's a cornerstone of a community, is a library. It's vital for our community that we look at things like that, you know. And then I touched on measurements, right? So we had a saying, I'm sure you've heard this, in business, you inspect what you expect. Right? You want to get out, you have boots on the ground, inspecting what you're expecting from the performance of the city employees, the contractors, and even the citizens of their land use and what they're doing. Because things that get measured get done, and that's a fact, right? So you set specific KPIs, key performance indicators for the city employees. This is your goal. This is the benchmark. Go get it. If they're not making it, we're going to have to take a look at it and see why and revisit it. And that's the biggest thing that I see that's facing us. And if you elect me, I'll certainly give it my best. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. And we'll move to the City of Alvin. And Joelle, we'll start with you for closing statement.
Serving on city council has been such an amazing honor. I love being able to meet everybody, being able to create relationships that will last a lifetime. So I'm so excited to be able to serve y'all again the next 3 years, and that's why I need y'all's vote. You know, Alvin has a lot of work to do. We need to be better. Rome wasn't built in a day, but I can assure you that if I'm reelected to city council, we will do our hardest to make sure that Rome is built the most fiscally responsible and the most effective way as we can. Because it's what our citizens deserve. It's what they pay for in their tax dollars. They deserve better, and we're gonna give them that. And so thank y'all all for everything y'all have done for our city. It means a lot because everybody contributes to this city, not just the city council, not just school board, college board, or elected officials. It's the community. Y'all are the bread and butter of Alvin, so thank y'all so much, and I hope to earn your vote starting April 25th and Election Day, May 7th. So thank y'all so much, and God bless.
Very good. Thank you. Roger?
I'm asking for your vote, not for any personal gain or satisfaction, but to support our community. I've got 17 grandchildren. I want them to have a place in Alvin to live, work and play, and enjoy it in the future, have jobs here and stay, and contribute also to the city in the future. Thank you.
Very good. Well, that concludes our forum this evening. I want to thank each of you for your time this evening, and even more importantly, I want to thank you for deciding to run for office. I know that's not a decision that anyone takes lightly. I want to thank you as a candidate. Also want to thank your families, because I know it is a commitment, and wish all of you the best of luck. And with that, please join me in a round of applause for our candidates.
Just a few thoughts and thank yous one more time for the individuals that helped make this happen. I want to again thank the Pearland Chamber of Commerce and their Governmental Relations Division, as well as the Alvin Manville Area Chamber Governmental Relations Division for putting this together, our co-chairs, Ashley Quinones with Memorial Hermann Health System and Wendy Del Bello with the college here. I want to thank ACC for providing this wonderful facility for us tonight. It is such a blessing, and so make sure you thank them on your way out. I want to thank Kayla and Kyle for all their extra work on just making this run smoothly and having this room ready for us. I also want to thank 1820 Marketing, who has graciously agreed to help put this together in video format that we will send out on social media soon. And so when that happens, if you would just do us a favor and help us get that out. It is important for our local area to know their candidates who are going to be on their ballots. As many of you know, it's the local elections that have the biggest impacts on our lives. So please help us get that information out. That's why we are doing this. Again, thank you to our candidates for giving us this opportunity. Thank you for your willingness, not just to be here tonight, but to serve our communities in the various ways that you are committed to. And thank you, attendees, for being here and supporting events like this. We plan to do more now that restrictions have been lifted, so we hope to have you out more often to do things like this. Your Chamber of Commerce is here to help you connect with your local officials as much as possible. And so that's one of the reasons why we exist, so we're happy to provide this for you. So please continue to join us as we do these in the future. Speaking of, early voting begins April 25th and runs through May 3rd. So make sure you put that down on your calendars. And Election Day is Saturday, May 7th. We do have a voter guide available on our website, alvamanvillechamber.org. You can also find it on our Facebook, and we'll continue to put that out. So if you want to know more about these candidates and how to find out information about them, and also state constitutional amendments that are up for the election, we have information for that as well at alvamanvillechamber.org. I want to again thank Jim Johnson for partnering with us at the Pearland Chamber of Commerce. And with that, as always, we'd like to remind you, when you eat, shop, play, and support local, you make our community a better place to live. Thank you so much. Have a great night.